We're recording. Happy Thursday, you guys. Welcome to our weekly Zoom that you guys are going to get some training on. I'm so out of it today. You guys have to forgive me. I do prove every day anybody can make money in this business, because that's how not together I am. You guys, I am excited because tonight we have some really good stories on, some really good guests. And what I like about this particular Zoom every week is we have like all ranks on. So brand new people coming in, down to people that have been doing it forever. And you kind of get to hear a little bit about all these people that are actually making it happen right now. So no matter how long they've been in, their business right now happens to be, moving and shaking, and you get to hear their story and what they're doing to make that happen. And, I think that it's usually like a Zoom like this, one of these kind of Zooms where you hear just that little tip of something you might not be doing, or hearing it a different way from someone else that can really transform your business. I mean, it's been the littlest tweaks in my business that have changed the game for me. So I'm glad you guys all joined us tonight. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your lives, getting on and making this Zoom a priority every week. We're going to jump right in. And our first guest just actually went 4K, our first rank in the company. And I know this chick is busy. Like when we say life is happening and she has a lot going on, she does. And not only does she have all that going on, but she also got her team to 4K. And I can't wait to hear a little bit about how she found Lavelle and some tips that she has for us if you are busy, if you're super busy and you have life happening. There really are no excuses. And I think that's the coolest part about this business is it doesn't matter what's going on in your life or how busy you really are. If you just learn how to fit this in the nooks and crannies of your day, you can do it. Doesn't matter who you are. So Kristen Ellis, I'm going to actually have you unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, great. But I just want to congratulate you, first of all, on hitting 4K. How
Thank
huge
you.
is that? That is so exciting.
It's
And I
crazy.
know it's so exciting. You're just getting started. And that's the coolest thing about this is you're on your way. And I know from talking to Holly Leisure that you've had like a lot of life happen and this last month or so.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, I kind of wanted you to share with everybody how did you find Lavelle? Like, how did you start trying the products, and then we'll kind of go from there.
So my day flight is I'm a speech therapist in a school system. So I work a lot with educators and counselors and people like that. And actually a coworker of mine was already using the products, and I kid you not, she tried to get me to use it for it's got to be close to a year, probably almost as long as she's using it. She was trying to get me to try it. Because I was always complaining that I was tired and exhausted, and my job is very demanding, and it's not physically demanding, but it's emotionally very fatiguing. And she's like, you really need to try this. And I was like, I don't know. If they say if it's too good to be true, it is. So I really pushed her like far, far away. And I actually had my third crazy health scare this past February. I ended up in the hospital with stroke-like symptoms, and I lost complete feeling on my left side, and this was like the third time. And I finally just said, enough is enough. I am overweight. I am exhausted. I get nothing done. I'm not present for my family. I'm a horrible wife. I said, that's it. I texted her and I was like, Danielle, I need to do this. I finally give in. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try it. And I was not a day one thriver, but I was a day three thriver, and I was hooked from there on out. And I feel like I have to tell everyone about this. And I said, like, the health scare was like, I was ready to go make out a will. We didn't have life insurance. Like, I thought I was going to be 6 feet under. So I really felt that it was time to make a change for me and I couldn't leave. I have 3 toddlers. I couldn't leave my 3 kids with no mom. So I had to do something to make a difference, and this is what I chose to make a difference, and I'm glad I did.
That's so scary. It's so scary, but it's so crazy how amazing these products are and what they can, do to just make you feel better. And I mean, obviously we're not making any medical claims or anything like that, but
No.
just the fact that something was making you feel better it's incredible. And it's just, this is why calls like this get me excited, because sometimes, we get so used to using the products. I've been on them for 3.5 years. It's stories like yours. And I'm like, man, this is why I use this stuff. This is why it's so good. So how long have you been in?
I joined at the end of April. I think it was like April 30th, maybe something like that. It all blurs together. I started my product like May 4th or 5th. So it was like right at the end of April.
So tell me a little bit about how like your business has gone starting, from the time you started until now. Did you come in and get your VIP bonuses, or did it start picking up kind of a pace later on?
So I didn't get
like?
any of the VIP bonuses. And then I started seeing like all these people like post on Momentum Crushers and all of the like shout outs in like our group messages and on the dream team. And I'm just like, well, now I want that too. So I just really started like talking about it. And I started with like my close network, like my family and my like best friends. And I was in a sorority in college. So like my sorority sisters, and I was just like, I think you guys need to try this. This is like amazing. And again, they were like really skeptical, and I was like, no, I'm telling you, just give it a try. I mean, even for like my closest friends, I was like, if you don't like it, I will buy your product. I will buy it for myself because I love it that much. And no one's taken me up on that offer in my close family or my
I think it's cool though that you mentioned that, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I came in, and especially if like the new people that are on with us tonight, they're like kind of give up if they don't get their VIP bonuses. Like, oh, it must mean I'm not supposed to do this, or I'm not good at it. And I always tell people, oh my gosh, do you know how many people I could put on a Zoom with us that didn't get those bonuses? And like, can you imagine if you would have just been like, oh, whatever, and now you're 4K? Like, those bonuses do not make or break. They don't predict your future. Like, I always tell people that getting or not getting those bonuses, I've had people come in, get those bonuses, and then I don't hear from them again. So getting those bonuses don't dictate your future in Le-Vel. What dictates your future in Le-Vel is just jumping in, being consistent, and then it's going to start to take you places. And that's kind of like what's happening with you too. And I mean, and I know you've got a busy life. What kind of tips do you have for people that are on just kind of like, how to navigate through a busy life and making sure? I know you're good at follow-up. Holly said you're like amazing at following up with people. What is your like tips do you have for everybody on that want to go 4K?
Well, and I'm smirking because I like just got a text message come through about someone wanting to order. So I'm just
yay!
Like, right and it's someone I've been working on since like I first started. It's one of my little sisters in my sorority, and I got my one little doing it, and now she's doing it with me. So it's like a big little thing, and now my other one wants to do it, and I'm like, oh yay! So I'll have to do that after this. But I'm just like very much a people person. And we're speech therapists, so we talk a lot, and we're really good at talking. And I've been told I talk too much and too loud sometimes, but I think in this area, it's a good thing because you like to talk to people and you're good at building relationships with people. And it's not just about talking about the products, it's talking about people's like real lives and, what's going well for them, what's not going well for them. And then, as you're going, you kind of just slip in there and you start talking about the products, and whether that's because they ask you a question or, I say, well, I felt exhausted too, but then I, found Le-Vel and everything changed. And then it turns into this snowball effect of, well, what is that? And tell me more about it. And sometimes I do this on purpose too. Like I'll give the people all the information that they want and I just really kind of just leave them hanging. And then I come back like a day or two later and say, you know, do you have questions or do you have concerns or what did you think about what you read? Or then I'll drop the Facebook fan page in there. And like, I kind of like layer it on very slowly. And I've found that more often than not, it works. I don't know why. And maybe it's because I come from a retail background. I worked for, you know, retail stores before and it's kind of just in my blood, I guess, after doing it to pay for college, that it kind of has stuck around. And then my field, I guess, it just kind of comes naturally. But, you know, I have 2 promoters as well. I've been working with them and kind of giving them tips on what to do. And, you know, I always tell them the biggest thing is don't be pushy. Like, don't just keep hounding people, you know, let them be and, you know, go back a week later, go back several days later and say, you know, can I answer any questions for you? How are you doing? And things like that. So I've found that, you know, my follow-up does tend to help, but I think I leave that anticipation, like, why isn't she hounding me type thing? People like are expecting that. And I don't do that.
You know what I love that you said is you layer it on, and that's exactly how I do it. Like, I think where a lot of people don't excel in this industry is I think that they kind of give up after that first interaction. Like, you know, if it comes up with a friend and you talk about it and then it kind of doesn't go anywhere, most people are like, okay, I'm never going to bring it up again, or they don't follow up to that next place. Whereas I'm the same as you. A week later, I'll go in and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to give you the fan page link. I know we were talking about this last week. You got to check it out. And I love how you say you give the fan page. I think that's huge because you're getting in that third party credibility. People are going, oh, even if they click on the link, they're going, okay, somebody other than Kristen is saying this is cool. Look at this page. Like, look at all these people that are talking about this product. But I think it's so huge how you talked about you keep kind of going back, but you're not like hounding somebody daily looking desperate. And one thing I have learned over the last 10 years is desperation pushes people away. Like, nobody wants to be part of something if you want them that bad. And if you're kind of like, oh, it's here, or I thought of this today, or I thought of you, or hey, there's an event tonight, you should check it out. Like, you're just kind of dripping on people. And I think that is it, and the follow-up hasn't stopped. And I think that's what has gotten you to 4K is the fact that you're not taking that initial first interaction about Le-Vel and just kind of leaving it there. You're continuing to just drip on people, like you said, you know, layering it on every single, you know, week or every other day or whatever it is that you feel comfortable, you know, doing it. And you know, you kind of know what the people you're talking about with too, in the relationship you have with them, what you can say, what you can't say, if you can be super forward or if you have to be more like, you know, sly about it. But I do think that, you know, you're so right when it comes to the follow-up is absolutely incredible. And then now you're starting to form a team at 4K is when you start having, you know, 1 or 2 people underneath of you that you just have to teach them to do the same thing. And that's exactly what you're doing, which is so cool. So going 4K, I mean, what do you see? Like, just out of curiosity, if you have a dream board or if you don't have one yet, I encourage you make one. But where do you see this going? Like, now that you've hit that first 4K, are you kind of like 12K? I got this. Like, I'm doing this thing.
I mean, I've always been told that, you know, the sky's the limit and you're the only one that can put the limit on you. So, I mean, at this point, I mean, I was kind of joking saying I was going to go 4K in June when I told Danielle that. I was like, well, you did it last month, so I'm going to do it this month. That's basically the joke we had. And when it happened, I was like, well, now we're just going to keep going. So it's the personal thing to myself is how high can I go? And it's a fire that fuels because you're like, oh my goodness, I did it this time. I can definitely do it next time. And my board right now says 0, but that does not deter me because I know it's coming. I think sometimes people are a little quiet in the beginning of the month, at least my people are, and it just happens later on and it all comes with a bang at the end. So I would say don't get discouraged if you don't have anything either right now. I mean, I don't, and it's not going to discourage me because I'm the only one that can put myself down.
Well, I feel you, because every month we all go back to zero, and it's like starting over again, and you just keep being consistent every day. And I think that is the moral of your story too, is, and I love the way you're talking. Like, you're not expecting anything to happen overnight. Realize this is a journey. It's a business. It's going to be stepping stones, and it's going to be your consistency and the time you're putting in that's going to get you to that next place. And you are kind of not in competition, but you're in, like, you're letting someone else motivate you and go, okay, I'm going to get there. You got there, so am I. And that it's teamwork. It's making sure that you're, doing those same things with your team, and setting goals for them, because sometimes people just don't know in the beginning how to set goals for themselves, and they need one of us to kind of set that goal for them, tell them what they're capable of, because a lot of people don't think, they think I can't get to 4K. Gosh, I didn't even get my VIP bonuses. How would I be able to go 4K? And it's somebody saying, yes, you can. I know you can. I know you can grab that first customer. I know you can grab that first promoter. And sky is going to be the limit for you. I have no doubt this is just the beginning. And I'm so proud of you too, for not just hopping on here tonight, throwing you to the wolves. Like, we literally asked you to do this about 30 minutes ago. And it can be overwhelming. And you jumped right in and said, absolutely. But I'm also so proud of you for not just determining your fate in this company based off the fact that you didn't grab those VIP bonuses in the beginning. And I just am so excited to see where you go with this, because you have the tools. You have the mindset and the right tools to do it. And you get that it's going to be a process of dripping on people and following up, constantly following up. And it's, it's so cool that we were sitting on here tonight and you had somebody message you that you've been working on, right? It's not somebody that, they're like, okay, I'm ready. And that's how this happens. It just doesn't happen overnight. So I'm so excited for you, and I cannot wait to see what else you do with this. It's going to be amazing.
I'm excited too.
So
Hey,
excited for you.
Lisa, one last thing I want to say, you guys, about Kristen is, I mean, she had a hysterectomy a week and a half ago.
Yes, I forgot to bring that up.
The last week of the month. Okay, so she's got 3 littles at home. She has a hysterectomy. I'm not kidding you. She is so passionate about her customers that she's literally like out of surgery and back in a 3-way message where one of her customers messaged us to ask something, and she knew I
was
had
guilty. Yes.
Yeah, she just had to get in there and just, be glad that everything was resolved. But like, she's so committed. Like, she is one of those people who doesn't let any excuse get in her way. I mean, that speaks volumes about where you will go, Kristen, because you don't make excuses any way, shape, or form. You are committed to what you're doing. You're committed to yourself. You're committed to your family, and you make it all work. Like, I know, like, you've been talking 20 minutes already, but I would really love for you to just speak really quick. How did you, that last week when you were recovering from your surgery and you had the kids, and I know your husband was there to help and everything, but how did you get it all done? How do you organize?
20 minutes already. See, I told you I'm a speech therapist. It just happens. We just talk a lot. But I mean, I just kind of pushed myself forward. I mean, I figured that if I was giving myself an excuse, and I had to go off of Thrive a week before my surgery too, so that was depressing to me. I was just so excited to get back into it because it was like the chocolate you can't have for like a week, and then you can have it again. That's what it was like. And then I was counting down the days, the hours, the minutes till I could do it again. And I was just like, well, I'm so excited about it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go check on everybody. And I mean, like, from the minute I was able to go down to a real recovery room, like Holly doesn't lie, I was in a 3-way already, message checking on people. And my customer even said, like, I wasn't even going to put you in there because I knew you would respond if you were awake. and they know me. I mean, most of my customers I have now, I either went to high school with them, I went to college with them, I'm a coworker with them, a previous coworker. So we're all like, right now, all my customer base are people like I have either been close with in the past or I am currently close with. And so I just went, and they were all asking me the same thing. Like, why are you messaging me when you are in a hospital bed still recovering? And I'm like, well, I just want to check on you. And I was able to help work through some issues, and you know, it distracted me from the inevitable, you know, pain that was going on. It was good distraction, and it helped kind of put me through, get me back on my feet faster, I think, because it gave me something fun to do, because I like doing it. I think it's fun. I get a lot joy out of doing it. I love helping people. I would hate to see anyone kind of go down that same road that I did when I could intervene now. Is there more to that question, Holly? Did I answer it?
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Well, you know, I was just going to say, it just shows like how fun, it's about fun. Like, you can't do it, and that's what this is about. But I also, that it's the difference between the mentality you have about you can't wait to do this. That's the difference between, you know, somebody that's going to go 4K and somebody that won't. Is this a priority for you? Is it something you can't wait to do? Are you having fun doing it? And I think Kristen just like hit all of those little points that really are those little teeny differences between somebody that's going to go 4K and somebody that it's taken a lot to get there because they're just not putting their enough time into it, I would say, or their heart's not in it, or maybe they're not as passionate about the products. But figure out whatever that is for you if you're on here tonight that is holding you back. Something is holding you back from maybe going to that next place, and whatever that is, that's where you need to work. That's what you need to be working on. Kristen, thank you so much for hopping on with us tonight. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to pull in. You're awesome, and I can't wait to see you go 12K. I'll have you back on one of these pretty soon. Next time you promote. You will be, I have no doubt. I want to bring one of your uplines on tonight, Chrissy, who just re-ranked at 40K. And I'm so excited for Chrissy to share a little bit. And then we have Danny on tonight too. So you guys don't want to go anywhere because we've got a good night. So don't go anywhere. Chrissy, I want to pull you in because you've been with me for a while now, and you have an awesome story. I want to jump right into that. Like, how did you find Thrive? And, you know, because you didn't even want Thrive. You didn't want anything to do with this. But you also are somebody that lives in a super small town, and there's so many people that are like, I live in a small town, and how am I supposed to do this when there's not that many people? I mean, you just kind of have this story that'll resonate with a lot of people. So let's start with, why did you start Thriving, and why did you join us?
Okay. Well, I was with a previous company, but it was not health and wellness. It was not with the rest of you guys. I was selling jewelry, and it was fun. I met a lot of people, but it just wasn't really my thing, right? And like so many of us, I was tired. I was taking medications from the doctor. In fact, I still am, and I'm weaning off of those right now. But I was going to the doctor so often, and you know, just telling them my concerns about always being tired, about always feeling down, about being anxious all the time. And what I now realize they like to do, and it's because this is what they're taught, is give you some of this, and if this doesn't work, okay, we're going to take some of that away and add something else. And it's just this constant mix of let's try new things. And so before I knew it, I was on this contraption of horrible, you know, they're just all horrible. They work horribly together. It was a mess, but I honestly did not think that there was anything that was ever going to help me. I remember it got to the point where I was crying and praying to God. Like, at that point, I was probably like 40. I'm 44 now. I have 3 kids, the youngest being 18 now, the oldest being 28. I was starting to have my grandbabies. I have 4 of those now. But at the point that I found Thrive back in 2016, I remember right before that crying and praying, please show me the answer, because I am like, you know, I hope I have a lot of life to live, and I cannot live the rest of my life like this. I can't live it laying down, watching my family and life happen around me, because that was a really shitty feeling. So I prayed because I didn't know what else to do. I was praying. And listen, guys, I pray, but I don't pray all the time. Like, I don't pray as much as I should, but it was such a place. I was such a place that I just had to. So it's so funny because I saw a post on Facebook, and this was December 2016, November, maybe it was November, the end of November. So Lavelle had already been a company for a while, and I was in direct sales. You would have thought I heard of Lavelle, but I never did until then. And I just keep thinking, like, how did I not find them sooner? But I saw a post on Facebook. Guys, I didn't research. I didn't do anything. I just bought the box knowing that it probably wasn't going to work. I was a skeptic, but I didn't care because I was so desperate. And I had been praying to God for an answer. And how do I know that this isn't my answer, right? So my husband works nights. I took the credit card out of his wallet while he was sleeping, and I bought the Thrive. It came, and I started. And of course, just like everyone else on day one, I thought it was in my head. Hubby got up to go to work. I told him, like, I'm feeling a little bit better. I had a daycare, a state certified daycare. So lots of little kids in and out with my own kids and my grandbabies and like just whatever. And I was like, I feel like making dinner, and I wanted to play with the kids. I didn't have to make myself. And like, I have a magic eraser out, and I'm scrubbing dirt off the walls. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I hate cleaning, guys. I hate it. And I had seen things that needed done for so long, but I just let them go because I did not care about too much of anything besides keeping the people that I needed to alive. That was my mission at that point in life. That was my everyday goal. Keep everybody alive, fed, happy, their parents happy, and I would be good. So he's like, yeah, honey, you know, it probably is. Let's just wait a couple more days. So I started taking it a couple more days. And day 3 or 4 was when I noticed my mood was different. This was different than the meds that the doctors had given me could produce. It was just something different. I explain it like I was driving down the road and everything seemed more colorful. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the only way I know how to explain it. I don't know if it was that it seemed more colorful or if I was noticing trees and mountains and grass and flowers. I don't know, but it seemed so pretty to me. And then day 10, I realized, see, you have to remember, I knew nothing. I didn't know what Thrive was going to do. I just thought it was to give you energy. That's all I thought. And so on day 10, I even took it wrong the first day, guys. And I'm sensitive to everything. I know I'm backing up and talking fast and whatever, but I have to tell you guys this. I didn't have anybody tell me how to take it. So I can't even take a Benadryl without going to sleep. I took 2 capsules. I did a full shake, and I put that patch on, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, it hit me hard. So I had to back up. I backed up. I ended up talking to a friend that I found out was thriving, and he said, well, you got to be sure you're eating, and you got to do this and that. So I got that straightened out. But day 10 was when I realized my body didn't hurt like it usually does. We're on to some autoimmune disorders, and my body just, you know, can hurt for ridiculous reasons and length of time. It can be the weather, it can be anything. But I realized that my body felt different. And it was on day 10 that I knew I had to look a little bit into the comp plan and hit that promoter button. That was a hard thing to do because I thought I had friends in the other company, and I know a lot of you kind of relate to this. You think that they're going to be supportive, and they were not. So I sort of laid low my first month here at Lavelle because they were overlapping, and I had to then go shut that down. I didn't know I was going to be a promoter. I thought I was buying a box of product to probably throw in the trash. So I didn't take them, the other company, and lead them up to I'm going to make a switch. There was none of that. So my first month here in Lavelle, I really had to lay low, and I was afraid to post. I was afraid to say too much, just because I didn't want to hurt feelings. I didn't want to hurt them. But then I got to a point where I didn't care. I don't want to say I didn't care about their feelings, because I did, but I knew I had to tell everybody. I put one post out that, said I'm feeling better, like my moods are better and I have some energy. And my messages were full of people saying, I feel the same way. And this whole time, I thought I was alone. Like for years, I thought I was alone and feeling this way. And now I have a whole inbox full of moms and dads and, just women, men saying, I feel the same way. I need this. And so I knew I had to do it. I had to. And I continued. That's been since I hit the promoter button in January 2017. So I have been here a long time. I have watched a lot of you go to the top. I have, I've been here a while. So that's how I found Thrive.
So once you got in and well, let's just talk a little bit about your journey and, the ups and downs of it. Cause I mean, there are ups and downs. I mean, sometimes it's like, holy crap, nothing can go wrong right now. And then there's other times where you're like, can I sign a promoter? Like we all go through that. So talk a little bit about, cause you just re-ranked again. And, I mean, your business is, back on that rise, and it just good things are happening right now. So talk a little bit about like when you came in, how did you grab, because you weren't really talking about it at first. Did you grab your VIP bonuses? Did, all of that? Let's talk about that.
Okay. So while I was laying low, I was able to go VIP 800 just with friends and family that I was able to talk to just face to face. I did not go 16. So this was January of 2017. I think it was that month they announced matching bonuses. So then in February, whenever I cut loose and went for it, I was able to go 4K the second month, and I grabbed a $4,000 bonus. And then I don't know, I have two people that were between myself and Holly, and between myself and Lisa that left. But I remember one of them saying, well, now you should go for 12K. And I was like, there's only 2 months left. Like, there's no way. And sure enough, like we end up at 12K on month 4, and I got a $12,000 bonus. And so like, I'm seeing, some money now. This is getting good. Not only am I sharing and making people feel better, but I'm seeing some money fast. I was a high school mom. I was pregnant at 16, had my baby at 16, my first baby. My husband everyone asks, is your husband her father? Yes, he is. We graduated school, we got married, we had 2 more babies. But I remember, and I hear so many stories like this from you guys. I remember where we would get his paycheck and we would have $60 left to spend for the next 2 weeks. And that was like for his gas, and he smokes, it's horrible, but his cigarettes, everything. And so I know what it was like to need and want more money. Not that money solves everything, but I knew, that we needed more. So daycare did that. I don't want to, daycare really brought in good money. He, of course, started making more money, and we were at a really good place. But I saw quick money in Lavelle. Not only that, I was seeing happy people. And so guys, listen to this. Okay, auto bonus on the 4th month. Sat there then for 2 years. I did not move off of that 12K for 2 years. I had people join my team, people leave my team, customers come, customers go, customers come back, all of that stuff. Promoters come back. It was really, really just a ride. And I kept saying, my gosh, I cannot be 12K for longer than 2 years. Like, for my own sanity, I just cannot be. So then it was last year they announced like 50% of the match, and I was like, all right, well, we're gonna try to do this. And I was able to get myself to 40K and my husband to 12K last spring. So I remember saying to everybody, listen, I'm only going to sit at this 40K for 1 year. 1 year. I better see 80K within a year, or like I'm doing something wrong. So we made it to 68,000. 68 was my highest. I have some numbers wrote down here because it has been this the whole way. We made it to 68,000 in May of last year. December of last year, I dropped down to 24,000. I went as low as like 22,000. So from 68 in the spring to 22,000. And it was, I'm not going to say it wasn't hard. It messed with my mind, but I kept telling myself, like, that's the devil trying to get to me. Do not let the devil get to you. You know what you have here. You know that this is the best place to be. You have the best product. And I tell all my promoters, guys, we have our hands on gold. I hear Lisa say it all the time. Like, we have our hands on gold, not only with the product, but with the comp plan and with Jason and Paul and, Drew and the way they treat us. And I've been on the lifestyle getaways, and I went to Denver with Lisa for a leadership retreat, and I've seen how they treat everybody. And I knew that this was the place. And I knew that even though I shrunk and I was right back down to that same place, I was staying. So this spring comes and I slowly start to see numbers go up a little bit. One girl on my team just sort of, what had happened was okay, let me back up again. We started a mini mania. I thought, okay, we have some new people coming on. They have a warm market. I got to do a mini mania for these guys. And I don't know if you've ever done a mini mania, but it is madness if it's going well. It is like, you don't put your phone down, you eat peanut butter and jelly for supper because that's all you have time to, spread on bread. That was kind of funny, but that's what I do. And so everybody has to funnel, everybody has to do things the right way. And so this is me teaching my promoters that this is the way we're going to do it, and they had a warm market. So it was perfect timing. But I have one girl on my team who she had a customer who had been thriving with her for 2 years. And this customer was already bringing in customers, okay? So the customer was already acting as a promoter, but would never hit that promoter button. So then she had a customer underneath her. So Kristen had Danielle and Danielle had Janelle. Janelle wanted to promote, Danielle didn't. So I went to Danielle and I said, hey, like, Janelle wants to hit that promoter button. You're going to lose all benefits from her if you don't hit it too. So we really did a lot of working there and like explaining that there's nothing to lose and you can only win. And like, there was a lot of talks going on. They all agreed to hit the promoter button at the same time. That's what happened. That's when we threw in the mini mania. Someone had posted this sheet. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Someone had posted this in the Dream Team. And I'm telling you, print this sucker out. It's where you put your new thrivers' names, their day 1, day 2, day 3, and it goes down. So what I did was I printed these out. Danielle has a packet of her own. I still have these. It's so funny. Kristen has a packet of her own. And this was the only way for me to keep track of these 3-ways and what was going on. So when someone popped into the 3-way and said, like, it's going well, I just made a note, going well. And then if they ordered, which many of them did, I wrote ordered and put a heart on it and put the day on they ordered, then the day they got it. And I just kept track that way. If somebody wasn't feeling right, then we went into problem solve. But we did 87 minis in about a week, I think it was, maybe a little longer than a week, but it is where things took off. And that's Kristen, Danielle, Janelle. We have Kirsten on. They were getting out minis like crazy. We were doing 3-ways. And I honestly 100% believe that is how I re-ranked to 40K. And so, then I'm almost like unbalanced, which is now pushing me to have to go do this again and do it with other legs and more promoters. So I'm really hoping to just keep pushing that forward. And I sit and I think, one of the things that I do is I sit and I think, what can I do? What can I bring new? Well, right now I'm doing a 30-day burn challenge. Burn is not my DFT of choice, but I need to lose some weight. And so I asked who would do a 30-day burn challenge with me. I thought maybe 1 or 2 people would. I think we have 20 some people in the group. And I already promised the ultra lovers that next month I'm going to do a 30-day ultra challenge. And so we're already talking about that. And promoters, customers, all sorts of, you know, everybody is saying, I want in on the burn challenge or the ultra challenge. And what this is doing is giving the promoters something to post about on their walls saying, hey, I'm going into this ultra challenge next month. It's 30 days. These are the products you're going to need. We're only allowed to use 4 products. It's the 3 steps in balance. That's all you're allowed to use. I'm trying to keep it affordable for the new people who maybe haven't started thriving yet. And so we're showing that this is what can be done with 3 or 4 products, and that's it. And so I had a lot of people also who needed to order those products to go into the burn challenge, which helped up my volume. And it's going to help up my volume this month because there are going to be new people coming on that want to go into the ultra challenge. And so I'm just sitting racking my brain because I don't want to fall back again. I don't want to go to that place. I can see 80K. Guys, I want a laundry room. I want stupid stuff. I want a laundry room. I want an office with an office chair. Right now I'm sitting in my bed with pillars behind my back and a laundry basket with my computer on top so nobody can hear the dogs barking. But I want an office built on. You know, it's not crazy things, but I can see 80K and eventually I can see 200K. 80 and 200 seem so far apart, but that's okay as long as I don't go back to that 20 place again. I don't want to go there. So I'm going to do whatever I absolutely can to keep myself at 40 and above. 40 to 80 is, you know, like I have to stay there for my sanity. So any ideas? Like I watch you guys, I watch what you're doing. I have, you know, I hop on the Zooms and I watch your Facebook pages. I stalk you guys. I'm just going to tell you that now. There's so many of you that I stalk and I just suck in everything I can. I want to be a sponge and I just want to grow and grow and grow. So I talk a lot. I'm sorry. And I'm not a speech therapist.
No, you're good. And I love the ideas that you gave people, like, especially with the challenges and the mini manias. And, you know, like, I know you guys got out how many minis this past month? Like, it was crazy.
It was 87 minis.
And
Yeah.
you were actually like, you weren't just giving them away. Like, people were, you were putting value on it. They were getting you in 3-way messages and
Yes.
it was growing your team. And it just shows, it proves that works. It works. Like if you do it, it'll work. And I just think it's amazing how you have, I mean, there's a lot of people on here who they've been stuck at 12K for a year or 2 years. That doesn't mean that that's where you'll stay. You've proven that. And it's just about timing, things hitting right. And sometimes you might fall back, but then you push forward. And, you know, it's just about don't give up. You know, you can't give up and you haven't done that. And I think that that's huge, 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 huge. But you just gave so many tips, Chrissy. I don't even need to ask you any questions because you did it all. And every time you say you're a grandmother, I crack up because you look like you're 12, by the way.
Wow,
you're the
yeah.
youngest
I get
face
a little
ever.
Botox here and here.
Nobody believes that you're a grandma. So yeah, right. We don't believe it. Thank you so much for
You're
hopping
welcome.
on, Chrissy and Sharon. I appreciate you. And last but not least, I'm going to pull in Danny Spring It tonight. Danny is going to come on, and a lot of you guys see Danny's face, and you guys have, you know, you see her posting the Dream Team page, and she records my calls. Not only that, but she's always on here. Her and Mark, they're kind of a power couple in the company, and they're always here to like lend, not just lend a helping hand, but you know, speak up if they have a tip, and they're just the best people ever. And I can't wait for you guys that, especially you, like a lot of people are so new and you might've seen Danny's face, but you don't know her story or her background. So Danny, I wanted you to just hop on tonight and kind of share with everybody, like give me your jam, girl. Tell me your story.
All right, thank you.
And you know what's crazy, Danny? When I met you, you had like 8,000 people in your house, somebody living in a trailer in your yard. You were the only one providing, like it was craziness. And it's just so crazy. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm not going to tell your story for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Never a dull moment in my life. little bit of a backstory. I used to be a store manager of Bath and Body Works way back before I had my kids, about 12 years ago, because my oldest is about to be 12. And I knew my purpose in life was to be a mom. So I knew when I had her that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. And so we had to go down to one vehicle. We had to go from our house to a townhouse. We downsized immensely. So when I unexpectedly became a single mother about 6 years ago, I knew I had to make some sort of income, and I knew going back into retail wasn't an option because of nights and weekends as a single mom. I would be definitely, paying out more in babysitting and daycare fees than, what I'd be making. It just wasn't going to be worth it. So I've always been like into makeup and skincare, and so I went to school to be an esthetician. I went to school during the week when the girls were in school, and when I graduated, I got an amazing job at a spa, like right off the bat, and realized then that working at spas was also nights and weekends, not as late at night, but it was also, Saturdays, and I worked till 8 o'clock at night. And my oldest has severe anxiety, and she would freak out because that's all they've known their entire life was me being home, a stay-at-home mom. And so when I was actually going to work, she would have anxiety attacks, and I had to make a decision whether, me going to work was worth my daughter's well-being. So I left not knowing what I was going to do. I was borrowing money from Mark, who I'm with now. He had his own place, his own apartment in town, and I was borrowing money from him, borrowing money from my mom, just to, make ends meet. And a girlfriend of mine messaged me that I hadn't spoken to in years. And she was with the network marketing company, and my previous network marketing company, and just told me all about it. I'm like, well, this is definitely something that I could do from home and make some extra money. So I joined her with the help from Mark and him giving me the $99 to join. And I was with them for 2 years. I think the first year I made like $2,500. The second year I made $3,500. And that was actually after my, we had to pay auto ships every month. And we actually, between me and my uplines, we paid for, bonuses basically. Because in that company, your uplines couldn't rank unless you ranked. And so I never maintained. It was awful. So I actually had met Jamie Pekka at like a local gathering for our previous company, and became Facebook friends with her, and that was basically the extent of it. And about a year and a half later, I knew, so we went to our annual conference. I took Mark because I had gone the previous year. I'm like, next year you're going with me because this is amazing. And I remember leaving there and apologizing to him. I'm so sorry, because it was such a letdown, and I knew then that I needed to leave. This was February that year, 2017. And I had just been following Jamie Pekka, on Facebook, and I saw that she had gone to Laval, and we knew, Thrive with the crack patch, and it was all filled with, caffeine. It was just, the devil. So, but I saw her energy. I saw that she was, really successful with the company. And I just reached out to her in March of 2017. And I said, I'm not leaving, even though I knew in my head I was, but I didn't want her to think, that, oh, I got her. And I said, but I need to hear your spiel. So we got on the phone, and she told me. And my first question to her was, how does this company make money if they pay out so well? And she's like, I don't know, but they do. And I was in it for the financial. I was looking at it as a promoter. It wasn't going to be a customer first. We were drowning. we couldn't, we had overdraft fees that we couldn't, get above water with. Like Lisa said, I had my brother and his family. There was 5 of them living with me, with us 4. And then my uncle and his 2 sons were in their RV in my yard. And Mark and I were, we were paying for everybody. And it was so stressful. And I wasn't making any money with my previous company with auto ships. And like I said, like $3,500. I'm like, where's that going to get me after, I pay my auto ships every month. So Mark and I talked about it for a couple days and prayed about it. And finally went to Jamie and said, okay, let's do this. And on March 27th, 2017, I hit the promoter button and I was very hopeful, but still a little skeptical because I didn't see a lot of success in my previous company. I think I hit like the 3rd rank. And, but, I was really intrigued by the bonuses and the VIP bonuses. And on my 14th day, I hit VIP 800, and only by getting Mark to sign up as a promoter and buying his kit. So that was 14 days in. And I knew that there was a woman in town who was with my previous company, and I knew that she was a rock star. And so I just kind of messaged her. I've only met her like once before. I messaged her and I said, hey, I left. And would you, oh yeah, we didn't try the products either, Mark just said. We didn't try the products, anything. We didn't get a sample. So I messaged her, I'm like, hey, I have all this, gear, gear from our previous company. And said, do you want to come look at it, see if you want anything, these clothes, and like insane amount of clothes. And she's like, sure. And of course I had my Thrive Experience products, the boxes on the table with the clothes. And she's like, well, what is this? And she's like, oh yeah, the crack patch. I said, no, wait. And I explained it to her, and she's like, can I have a sample? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, yes. So, so she took a sample, and then 3 days later, she called me for more. I'm like, yep. So I got her on a call with Jamie, and I don't know if it was you too, Lisa, or I'm not sure who else it was, but finally got her to sign up. And the day she signed up, 6 days later, for my VIP, missing my VIP 1600, I hit 4K. The day she signed up, I hit 4K. So when we say there's one person that can change your life, one person that you can sign that changes your life, that changes your business, it's so true in my experience, because I was, I had 3 people, and no one come with me from my previous company. I signed Mark to hit VIP 800, and I hit 4K 6 days later, the day she signed. And then I think another 6 days later, I hit 12K. So in 28 days, I hit 12K and earned my auto bonus. So, and going back to the product wise, we got the product, and we were absolutely day one thrivers. And we feel amazing. It's been over 3 years and still feel amazing. People are like, oh, don't BS me. What, how do you really feel? I'm like, honestly, if I wasn't a promoter, I'd still use these products. I'm a better mom. I would take naps every single day, set my alarm so my kids, I would get up in time to get my kids off the bus. And I'm not like that anymore. I'm 42 years old. I don't feel it. I don't think I look it. But, I feel amazing. And, this has just been such an amazing ride. 3 months in, 90 days in, we went 40K. And then it was another 16 months later that we hit 80K. And, I hear a lot of people that are discouraged when they have a red leg, when they're unbalanced. Let me tell you, I have a forever red leg. That rock star that joined me, she hit 80K before I did. And that was a real kick in the face. But, I'm very excited and happy for my team. But it just like, it was so discouraging. It got in my head. It got in my head, and so that's why it took me another 16 months to go 80K. It was actually a year, almost a year, I think. No, it was like 6 months after she hit 80K, I went 80K. But, you know, I see it as a blessing now because, you know, like Lisa and all our leaders say, you know, that's 60% of your volume that you don't have to look to go get. Try to find that extra 40%. Go look and, you know, sign that. No, you've done it before. Go sign another rock star. It's that one person that's going to change that 40% that I need to get to 200K. So that's how I see it now.
You know, I love your story because so many people can relate. I mean, we've all been in these places where it's like you're struggling. And I remember being with my last company and having so many people like you. Like, I know how dedicated you are. I work with you all the time. And so I can imagine. I didn't work with you in the last company, but I do know that you had to be just as dedicated. That's just who you are. And it's so frustrating to know that you were literally so dedicated for 2 years and saw such little money. And now over here, what you guys have been able to do, it's incredible. And it really is. When I say it's only the beginning, it is only the beginning for you, for me. Like, we've only been here 3.5 years. It's like mind blowing. And when you think about what you did in 2 years, you've only been here 1 year after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we are just getting started. And it's so cool too. I'm glad you mentioned the heavy leg because there's a lot of people on tonight who maybe they have one really big leg. Maybe you've had somebody pass you, and I mean, I totally get it because, you know, you're working your butt off and then you watch one person come in and go crazy and it's like, dang it, what is happening? But then you realize later on that thank God this person came into my business because now look where I was able to get to. And it's just amazing. What kind of, I mean, you guys are full of knowledge and tips. And I mean, you've been doing this industry for a while now and you do the right things. I mean, it's about daily action. And the one thing about you and Mark both is you are on everything. Like, when I say you're on everything, I don't even ever think I've not seen you on something. You are on Zooms, you show up on the team page every day, you are in chats, you are never not working. And I can't express how important that is because you still have a life. I mean, you still do stuff with your kids, you're still doing everything, but you make sure things are a priority. You show up. For everybody on here tonight, like, in your years of doing this, and especially over the last couple with the success you guys have seen, what are some things that you are like, look, you guys have got to do this every day or you're just not going to see the success you're looking for?
Wow. Well, definitely personal development. I have noticed that when my business isn't where I want it to be, I'll look back and be like, okay, what am I not doing? And most of the time, because, you know, like you said, I'm in team chats, I'm in my, you know, so many chats and pages, and I'm on every Zoom. It's, you know, that's my job. This is my job. I got to make time for it. When I realized my business isn't where I need it to be, it's because of personal development. I am not an audible person. I'm not, you know, I cannot just sit there and listen to something. My brain just will go everywhere and I won't focus. So I have to actually have a book and sit down and read it and make the time. So I've actually been getting up earlier lately and doing that. I'm a night owl. I like being up really late. So most of my team knows, like, Ashley on my team's my early bird, so she takes care of the team like really early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, where me, I'm taking care of the team at midnight, 1 o'clock. But, you know, we are, you know, I'm making sure that I'm up at like 7 o'clock, which is, you know, I'm usually up at 8:30 at the latest, but I'm getting up at like 6:37 lately. And that's my time before everybody else gets up. And that's when I do my personal development. I have a planner. This is my planner. This is my go-to every single day. I write everything in there. I write my posts when I want to post in there. So I block out time, like this was from yesterday, like I write everything in here. I block out time, like my non-negotiable time, whether that's my non-negotiable time with my family or my non-negotiable time with my business, and my family knows that I am, 9 o'clock Thursday nights, my kids know that I'm on a Zoom. It was hard for them at first when I was working a lot with, Laval and in my previous company as well. And I had to be like, okay, well, all those times I had to say no because we couldn't, I don't go into details, but, when I couldn't get you the things that you wanted, I'm doing this so I can get you the things. I can say yes more to you. I can buy you this, I can buy you that. And so I put it in kind of that type of perspective for them. Like, and also, you have so many friends that their moms and dads work outside the house and they have to go to babysitters and they don't get to do these things that I'm always here for you, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, then you got to give me this time. And they're like, okay. So having those conversations with your family is huge, especially your children, because it's hard for them to understand. Since you're home, why can't you do this? Why can't you be more present with them? But so my planner, my personal development is huge for me. And yeah, that's the two big things that I need to do everything.
Dude, you got to have a plan. I mean, you do. Like, I will never understand it when, like, I'm talking to somebody and they message me and they're like, I'm not quite sure why things aren't working out for me. Why isn't it going? And then I'll say, well, send me over your schedule. And they're like, well, I don't have one. Snapshot your calendar. I can't do that. I don't have a calendar. Well, when's the last time you were on a Zoom? I mean, it's just like really easy to ask just a couple questions to start seeing why somebody isn't where they want to be. And it's like, it's just these little things. And I mean, you mentioned self-development, and there's no possible way that without plugging in, which is part of self-development, getting on calls like this and being able to hear stories like yours and, Kristen's and Christy's tonight, because it just is, it resonates, and it's part of that self-development of, realizing if this person did it, so can I. They've been in the same places I have. They have gone through some of the similar things that I have. And if they did it, that I can too. And that is part of that self-development, journey. And I always think about, there is no way that I would be sitting here today if it weren't for the fact that I plugged in. And, we always say you're most like the 5 people you surround yourself with. And, I know who you surround yourself with. You're on all these Zooms, I know who I'm surrounding myself with. You guys, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because it's the people that are in your ear saying things to you that your mind starts to believe. So if you're getting on these kind of Zooms and Danny's on here saying, I know you can do it because I did it, or are you listening to somebody in your household saying, why are you doing that? You're wasting your time. I mean, you've got to somehow counteract what the outside world and the negativity going on. You kind of have to counteract it. And the only way to do that, especially with the fact that it's not like we can go to meetings, it's COVID. We have to get on things like this because we get to like be a part of this and hear other people. And it's so huge. So I can't say enough how like you guys are not just people that, you talk about it, you be about it, you guys are about it. And that's why your team follows suit too. They get on because they see you get on. And it is a huge difference too, because I have leaders, they make great money, but I don't see them pop on these Zooms. And a lot of their people don't either because they don't. It was so funny. I was just talking to one of my personally enrolled today about somebody on her team, and we're like, nobody plugs in, and it's like when that happens, you kind of see, why is this team out of touch, or why is this person not moving in the direction they want to go in, versus when I see people like you show up, I also see, so many people when I'm scrolling through, people from your team are on, which is huge too. So I just appreciate you and Mark so much. You guys are, just always there. Never have you ever like said no. I don't think you've ever said no. Just like last minute, I'm like, Danny, you want to get on tonight and share your story? And you were like, absolutely. And that's really what it takes. I mean, that's what it takes to be a 200K. And I've told you this a million times. You already have all the tools to be a 200K. You are a 200K leader. You're just missing that one right next person that's going to pop on your team somewhere that's going to get you there, and it will happen. Like, I don't have a doubt. But you already act as though you are there, and that's what it takes to get there, and you're ready for it. I mean, how many times do we see people get to 200K that don't stay there, and they get on Zoom just like this, especially the Tuesday leadership Zoom, and they say, I wasn't ready for it. You guys are ready for it, like without a doubt. We know that, so that's exciting.
Yeah, we're,
It's so
we're ready.
exciting.
We want it. We just, we're just working on not only growing our team that we have, but looking for, the new people to come in and grow them as well. So we have an amazing team. We love every single one of them. And, not going to say that it's not always roses, and you're always going to have, things that, aren't always, the way you want them to go. But let me tell you, if you just keep doing what you're doing and you lead by example and you be the leader that you know you are, then, everything is going to fall in line. And we know that 200K is just right down the road for us.
It is right down the road in 6 months, in 3 months, next week. I don't know, but it's happening. I always tell you that. I believe it. I know it. I want to thank everybody for hopping on tonight. All of you guys, I know we went a little bit over, but we did way better than the last few weeks, guys. I'm getting this. I'm inviting less people. I get it. We're not going to be on until, 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock in East Coast. They're like, what are these Zooms? We stuck close to an hour, so I'm really proud tonight. But I want to thank Kristen, Chrissy, and of course, Danny for hopping on tonight, and all of you guys, every single person that decided to, make sure that they showed up tonight. Kudos to you, because this is the place that you need to be to learn and grow and just hear something, that little nugget that I know all of you guys got from listening tonight, whatever that takeaway was. I hope that you go tomorrow and apply it to your business. And hopefully, that's that little thing that was missing that's going to take you to that next step that you need to be at. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. We will see you guys next Thursday. So you guys, if you are new to our team, this is every Thursday. It is the same link. So you can actually click this same link next week, and you're going to be led to a new Zoom with new people, new stories, but it's always the same link. So save that link and put a reminder on your phone for 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, or 8 p.m. Central every single week. And then just a little recap, if you are new, we have a Zoom Monday night with Amanda Arnett that is amazing. Sunday night, Stacy Weisenberger has an amazing Zoom. These are all in the team page, guys. So you'll see that day these little Zooms go up. And then Tuesday days, we have a Zoom with me. And then Kayla Fox does morning Zooms for those of you early birds that are up at the crack of dawn. Which sometimes you'll see me once in a while hop on a 4 a.m. Zoom. But for those of you guys that are on the East Coast, it's 7 o'clock. So if you're up early, make sure you get on one of those Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. But you guys, there's really no excuse not to plug in. There's always something going on. Really, Sunday through Thursday, there is something that you can plug into. And the coolest thing is if you have a favorite but you have to miss it, they're all recorded. And Danny does a lot of the recording, so she knows that. I just go to Danny's YouTube page. It's all right there. But yes, they're all recorded. So if you guys miss something, you can go back and listen, because you never know what you might have missed that night, and that little nugget that could have changed your business forever. Thanks, guys, again. I'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m.